or my elbow, but he done something, and then when he went to stand on it, so I think he buckled his foot. Obviously I was already ahead, but I knew we needed that round, and I seen him buckling, he's struggling to pull weight. Could maybe do more here, but then I'm like, I think it was his front leg, his lead leg. So I was like, he can still sit, I'm pretty calculated, so I was like, he can still carry his weight on that back foot if he really wants to sit some big shots. So I was like, I won't get too carried away. Like I was thinking, can I capitalize on that? I'm like, I could by doing what I'm doing. Maybe a takedown. Like I thought, the takedown probably a bit easier now, rather than being like, I'm going to just go for it because he only needs the back leg for that. So I didn't get too careless.
Stop everything you are doing right now. Turn off the television, close every other tab on your browser, silence your phone, and lock the door, because what we are about to discuss is not just a breaking news headline, and it is not just a medical update from the UFC. It is a revelation that completely redefines the limits of human toughness and changes the entire history of what happened at UFC. We all watched the fight. We all sat there for 25 minutes screaming at our screens as Diego Lopes and Alexander Volkanovski went to war in one of the most high-paced, violent, and technical chess matches in featherweight history. We saw the scrambles, we saw the near submissions, we saw the knockdowns, and we saw the blood. But what we didn't see, what the cameras couldn't show us, and what Joe Rogan has just revealed to the world, is that we were witnessing a biological anomaly that shouldn't be physically possible. Breaking news has just confirmed, and Joe Rogan has broken it down in terrifying detail, that Diego Lopes did not just fight with a sore foot or a sprained ankle. Diego Lopes fought the last 3 rounds of that fight. 15 minutes of combat against the pound-for-pound king with bilateral foot fractures. That means both of his feet were broken, snap, gone, shattered, and he kept coming forward.
The real reason why Diego Lopes lost to Volkanovski has finally been revealed. The guy broke both of his feet. This fight wasn't a 50-45 win for Volkanovski. I thought Volkanovski won the fight. I'm not saying robbery or anything like that, but it was a lot closer than 50-45. Lopes arguably won 2 rounds. Now, I can't remember if it was round 2 or 3 that Diego Lopes dropped Volkanovski, but by using the same logic that people used in Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, because Diego Lopes dropped Volk, that should be a Lopes round. Because Paddy Pimblett, similar to Justin Gaethje, was winning the round, then got dropped by Justin Gaethje, and everybody gave Gaethje the round. So surely by that logic, Diego Lopes wins that round. I'm not saying robbery. Volkanovski was the rightful winner. He won this fight. I'm glad he won this fight after that walkout at UFC 325. That was epic. I come from a land down under. But this was definitely not a 50-45 win for Volkanovski. Ain't no way, boy.
To truly understand the gravity of what Joe Rogan just explained, you have to go back and re-watch the fight with this new information, because it turns the entire match into a horror movie. Rogan pointed out a specific bone-chilling moment in the middle of the second round that went almost unnoticed at the time, but is now the smoking gun of this tragedy. Diego Lopes threw a massive left body kick, aiming for Volkanovski's liver. It was a kill shot, but Volkanovski, being the defensive mastermind that he is, didn't just block it. He tucked his elbow in tight to his ribs. He created a spike. Rogan screamed on the breakdown, "Look at the mechanics. Watch the impact." Lopes wraps his foot around the point of the elbow. That is bone on bone. That is the metatarsals colliding with the hardest part of the human arm. You can almost hear the snap if you turn the audio up. Rogan compared it to kicking a fire hydrant or a concrete bollard full force. In that split second, the small, fragile bones on the top of Diego's left foot exploded.
And with that, the UFC featherweight championship is now vacant. Volkanovski is in the... Volk goes to the inside leg kick now, changes the level and goes high. As particularly measured here across...
But the horror doesn't stop there. If it was just one foot, maybe you could hop around. Maybe you could adjust your stance. But Rogan revealed that the right foot was arguably in worse condition. And who is to blame for that? Alexander Volkanovski's shins. We have heard legends about Volk's bone density. We have heard Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria talk about how hitting him feels like hitting a brick wall. Well, Diego Lopes found out the hard way. Throughout the first and second rounds, Diego was chopping at Volk's legs, but Volk was checking them perfectly. Every time Diego landed a low kick, his shin and the top of his foot were slamming into the upper tibia of Volkanovski. It was a war of attrition, and Diego's skeleton gave out first. By the time the bell rang to start the third round, Diego Lopes was essentially standing on 2 bags of crushed gravel. His structural integrity was zero. Rogan said it best, "I don't understand the physics of it. How do you generate power? How do you push off to throw a right hand when the bones you need to plant are floating around inside your skin? The adrenaline dump required to mask that kind of agony is not human. It is cyborg behavior."
Through adversity's easy, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? There's going to be chaos. A lot of people can't handle chaos. I put myself through chaos every camp, you know what I mean? I'm used to this, you know what I mean? I make that the norm. And then, you know what I mean? So whenever there's challenges, he's getting...
This revelation completely explains the moments in the fight that confused us. Do you remember in the third round when Diego stepped back near the cage and stumbled? The commentary team, Daniel Cormier and John Anik, they speculated that he slipped on the Metro PCS logo. They thought maybe there was sweat on the canvas. We all thought it was a slip, but Rogan just debunked that myth. He slowed the footage down, frame by frame, and showed that Diego didn't slip. His foot collapsed. He tried to put weight on his right foot to pivot, and the bones simply couldn't hold him. His ankle rolled, not because of a lack of balance, but because the foundation of his body had crumbled. And what did he do? Did he look at the referee? Did he grimace? Did he wave his hands to stop the fight? No. He bit down on his mouthpiece. He reset his stance, and he launched himself back into the fire. He knew his feet were broken. He had to know. You feel that. And yet, he made the conscious decision to stay in the cage with a man who was trying to take his head off.
Or my elbow, but you know, he done something, and then when he went to stand on it, like so I think he buckled his foot. Obviously I was already ahead, but I knew we needed that round, and I seen him buckling, he's struggling to pull weight.
Rogan also highlighted the impact this injury had on Diego's offense, and frankly, it makes his performance even more legendary. In the later rounds, we saw Diego's takedown attempts slow down. Critics were saying, "Oh, his cardio is fading," or "Volk is drowning him." We owe Diego Lopes a massive apology. His cardio wasn't fading, his landing gear was destroyed. To shoot for a double leg, you need to explode off your back foot. You need to drive your toes into the canvas to generate forward momentum. Diego literally couldn't do that. Every time he tried to push off, his bones were grinding together. He was forced to become a flat-footed boxer because he had lost the ability to be an explosive athlete. And despite that, despite fighting on stumps, he was still landing shots. He was still making Volkanovski respect him. He was still dangerous. That is a level of toughness that you cannot teach in a gym. You are either born with that kind of dog in you, or you are not.
You know what I mean? I'm a guy that never shies away from a challenge. You know what I mean? There's no real secret to success. I'm the guy that will do what everyone doesn't.
The visual evidence that is circulating now is stomach churning. A photo of Diego Lopes in the hospital has gone viral, and it looks like the aftermath of a car crash. He is sitting in a wheelchair, smiling, giving a thumbs up, but both of his legs are wrapped in thick, heavy plaster casts all the way up to his knees. His feet are elevated because the swelling is so severe that doctors are worried about circulation. Rogan described the swelling as balloons, saying his feet turned purple and black within minutes of the fight ending. It paints a picture of the torture he must have been enduring in those final minutes. Imagine the walk back to the corner after round. The adrenaline dips slightly, the pain comes rushing in like a tidal wave. Your corner is giving you water, and you have to stand up and walk back out. There, knowing that every step sends a shockwave of pain up your nervous system. Most men would quit on the stool. Most fighters would say, "Coach, I can't move." Diego Lopes didn't say a word. He just fought.
You know, was again at this age, 37 years old, just a win, right? Is an awesome feeling. And then to do it here in Sydney, not only that, to defend your belt at 37 here in Sydney in front of your family.
This injury also adds a terrifying layer to the legend of Alexander Volkanovski. We often talk about offense, punches, kicks, submissions. But Volkanovski used his defense as a weapon. He broke his opponent without even throwing a strike in those specific moments. He positioned his body in a way that forced Diego to break himself. It's the iron shirt technique. It's the immovable object. Volk essentially said, "Go ahead, kick me. You will hurt yourself more than you hurt me." And he was right. This fight wasn't just a victory for Volk on the scorecards, it was a physical dismantling of the challenger. He didn't just beat Diego, he immobilized him. The medical reality for Diego Lopes now is grim. We are not talking about a few weeks of ice and rest. We are looking at major surgery. Rogan speculated that he will likely need plates and screws to realign the metatarsals in both feet. The rehabilitation process for a bilateral foot fracture is grueling. You can't walk, you can't run, you lose all muscle mass in your calves because of the atrophy. He is looking at 6 months in a wheelchair or on crutches, followed by months of learning how to balance again. This injury steals a year of his prime. It kills the momentum of one of the most exciting fighters on the roster, and the biggest question mark is, will he be the same? Footwork is everything in MMA. Agility is everything. When you shatter the complex architecture of the foot, it rarely heals back to 100% perfection. Will he still have that bounce? Will he still be able to explode into flying knees? Or will he have to completely reinvent his style because his feet can no longer handle the torque? Rogan closed his segment by comparing Diego Lopes to some of the greatest warriors in history. He brought up Thiago Santos, fighting John Jones with 2 blown-out knees. He brought up Robert Whittaker, fighting Yoel Romero with a broken hand. He brought up Rich Franklin fighting Chuck Liddell with a broken arm. But he argued that this might top them all, because you can hide a broken hand, you can't hide broken feet. You need your feet for everything. Every punch starts at the feet. Every defense starts at the feet. Diego Lopes fought the pound-for-pound king with no foundation. He was a house with no floor, and he refused to collapse. The reaction from the fighter community has been instant and overwhelming. Conor McGregor tweeted, "Respect, that is a true fighter." Dustin Poirier called him a savage. Even Volkanovski, in his post-fight presser, admitted that he saw Diego limping and knew something was wrong, but was shocked that he kept coming. This performance, even in a loss, has elevated Diego Lopes to cult hero status. He is now the people's champ of toughness. He lost the belt, but he won the respect of every single person who has ever watched combat sports. So, as we process this news, as we look at those horrific x-rays, we have to ask ourselves, was it worth it? Diego Lopes shortened his career tonight. He put his body through trauma that will cause him arthritis for the rest of his life. But he also etched his name into history. Years from now, when we talk about the toughest fighters to ever step into the octagon, Diego Lopes' name will be at the top of the list. I need to hear from you guys. When you hear Rogan's breakdown, when you realize he was fighting on broken bones for 15 minutes, does it change how you view the fight? Do you think the corner should have thrown in the towel if they knew? Is it brave, or is it foolish to let a fighter continue with that kind of damage? And do you think Diego Lopes can come back from this and win the title, or was this his one shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We will be tracking his surgery updates minute by minute. Send your prayers up for Diego, because the recovery starts now. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The fight game is brutal, and tonight it showed us its darkest and most heroic face.